Hello. It's Friday. It's Friday. It is Friday. And I know I said I would be going live today, so that's what I'm here for. Um Today is going to be a bit of a deeper live session. There's a lot I wanted to go over, including what I've learned over the past year. 2023 is coming to a close, and I just wanted to share some of my big lessons that I've learned as a vlogger, as a podcaster, as a mother, as a wife, as a traveler, and so many other things in between. And I wanted to start by also saying I'm open to some Q&As. Again, I posted, that I was going to be doing this live because I wanted to answer some questions that I know many people have, and some questions that I've answered before in the past that I've gotten from, Instagram, where people posted out some questions that they wanted to know about me. And so I just wanted to go over some of that. Now, if you are new here, this is KJ Around the World. I am a podcaster, a mom, a wife, a travel vlogger, travel blogger. I'm also an educator. And this channel just gives you a piece of me, right? I try to come on here and share the things that I've experienced, including my travel adventures, going to Europe, going to the Caribbean, and also sharing some of my teacher, information as well. And so to get things started, if you are new here and this sounds like a place for you where you want to learn more about traveling, especially those of you who are women, Black women, women of color, who are on the fence about travel, you're not sure about solo travel, and you're just a little bit curious and you want to know more, this is the channel for you. If you like what you hear, subscribe, show YouTube that you're feeling it and you want to know more, right? So if you are an educator and you're also interested in travel, this channel is for you as well. I have been teaching for 15 years now, and I love what I do. I think it's awesome. I've opened up, to different avenues in education, from teaching remote to thinking about teaching abroad. And I know there's some educators who are curious about that because of what's going on in the education system right now. And I've got a lot of information to share on that as well. So you've got a mix of travel, which is what I'm passionate about, in education, and some lifestyle stuff. So if that is for you, stick around. There's more to come. Make sure that you're checking the description box for other videos that I've posted, other lives that I've posted, even my book that I published this year. So that'll help you understand a little bit more about what the channel is about, what I'm about, and how I'm here to share that story, as well as the story of other educators I've connected with who want to share their story about going abroad and teaching abroad and being more open to travel. Now, going into what I've learned over the past year, I started off 2023 with the word growth. Like, that was my word of the year. I didn't want to do New Year's resolutions. I didn't want to, think about, well, I want to do this and have a checklist. I wanted to focus on growth, not just mental growth, emotional growth, or financial growth. I wanted to work on just growth overall. And from what I started with in January of 2023, I can say I've come full circle and I've seen that growth, and I'm continuing to grow, and I'm doing the things and taking the steps that I need in order to grow into the person that I know myself to be and the person that I want to share with the world. So that growth has, sprouted out into so many ways. I've connected with so many new people, and I've been able to learn so much, not only learning so much about myself, but learning more about other people, about other businesses, about other organizations, and just how this can help to bring about an even more fulfilling life that I have and what I want for, the women who inspire me and the women who are inspired by me. So growth was my word for 2023, and I've seen it come to life. I've, done things that I wanted to do. I was also inspired by Stephanie Perry. For those of you who know about Stephanie Perry, she is that girl. She is that woman, right? She has so much out here to offer, from her media company to the work that she's doing with Exodus Summit and the work that she's doing with her house sitter school. I was inspired by her vision board video that she did last year. And I sat down and I was like, you know what? Let me also think about putting together a vision board. Like, out of all my 38 years of life, I never thought, like, hey, let's do a vision board, right? And so I was inspired by her and her vision board that she did, and how she put together some things that she felt was necessary for her life and the goals that she set for herself. And so I did my own vision board, and I have it on my wall, and it's there for me to see every single day, seeing all the things that I wanted to do with myself, all the things I wanted to bring into fruition. There were things on there that are frivolous, like a bag that I wanted, right? I did get the bag. There are things on there like my financial growth, which I did, and I'm so happy about. There were things on there relating to travel, and I didn't get to all the places I wanted to, but I did get to one, and I'm happy about it. And on top of that, I got to another place that I didn't even think about going to. So I got to do some travel adventures, got to get something that I really wanted for a long time that was on my list of things I wanted to buy. I got some financial growth done. I was able to start my yoga journey and be committed to it, to the point where I've joined an SEL yoga program where I can incorporate social and emotional learning into my yoga practice to help not only myself but other educators and their students. So even though at the beginning of the year I was like, I'm going to dedicate myself more to yoga, I not only did that, but I went even beyond it. And so that is the type of, things that I wanted to get out of doing the vision board. And I actually did it, right? I went beyond what I even thought I could do. And I was so happy and so proud of myself in that. And although that yoga training is going to be ongoing and we still have so many more courses to go, I feel good that I've learned so much about yoga, about the background of yoga, the history of yoga, and how I can incorporate it into my own teaching practice and help myself and others going forward. So I was happy about that. I added just being able to go to more yoga classes and go to in-person yoga classes and improve on my practice and turn that into something even bigger. So I was really proud of myself for that. I became a published author, a self-published author, and that was something I had on there. I knew I wanted to write a book. The funny joke about that is the book that I put out that I was going to do by the end of the year, didn't do that book. I did another book. And that is how, when you have a vision for yourself, right? Sometimes that vision happens, but it happens in a different way than you even think about. So I went to the Women's Travel Summit. Here's the kicker here. I went to the Women's Travel Summit in February, I believe, right? Of 2023. And I was like, okay, I want to learn more about being an author and, take these workshops about being an author. And I went and I got some of the best advice ever about writing. And one of the trainers who I'm actually very, very familiar with, and I followed a lot of her work, Danielle Desser, she said, why don't you turn your podcast into a book? So the book that I went there thinking about publishing, the book that I put on my vision board that I was going to publish, didn't work on, didn't do. I did something else completely different. Wrote it, spent months writing it, finished it, edited, published, and now it's out there to the world. The other book that I had in mind when I walked into that workshop, right? That book is still there. I've written so much. I've written so much, but I still have more to include. And I'm so excited about the amount of things I have to put in that book that I'm okay taking more time working on it. I'm okay with that because I know once it is published, and now that I know the self publishing process, now I know what goes into it. I'm super excited for what's to come with the actual book I had on my vision board for 2023 coming out in 2024 and just being an amazing, beautiful, you know, crafted book that I put so much time, effort, and love into that it's going to be baby number 2 that, comes out amazing, just like baby number 1 came out this year and was amazing. So that was one thing additional that I had on there. I had also that I wanted to eat better, perhaps maybe be some vegetarian, vegan practices. I've done, vegetarian before. I've been vegetarian in the past. Like I've tried it for a month. I think I've tried veganism for a month. And I knew that 2023 I wanted to change my eating habits. Did it all work out? No. Have I gotten better with how I eat? Yes, most certainly. I have cut down on the amount of meat that I eat. And I'm proud of myself for that because I feel like for my body, I need to make some changes in order to have better long-term health. Everyone does what works for them. I'm just telling you what works for me. My son was vegan for many years. He was vegetarian for years before that. And, he was always very healthy and everything else that came along with it. And so I wanted to try something different and kind of just, see how he was living his life and kind of be a part of that. And then my son said, I think I want to go back to eating meat again. So there goes that, right? But I am still thinking about, on my vision for 2023, still continuing into 2024 with the practice of eating healthier, treating my body better, drinking more water, and being more mindful of what I put in my body, which is really important to me. Something else I had on there was sponsorship. Now, I didn't get any sponsors. And that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you have a vision for yourself and you want things to happen and they don't happen the way you want them to. Did I apply for more grants this year? Yes, I did. And I feel good about that. Did I get any? No, but that's okay, right? I think it's important for us to have not only a long-term vision, but a short-term vision. Things that you want to get done this week, next month, the next 2 months, the next 6 months, the next year, right? And then also have a long term vision as well. And my long term vision has in the sponsorships for my podcast in it because I know my podcast is going to be put out to more people. I know it's going to improve on the lives of so many people. And so I believe in it. I'm going to continue to push it and focus on it and improve upon it and have more speakers and, interview more people to come onto the podcast because I know the amazing impact it could have on so many educators who are just ready to give up, but they just need a little bit of a push in a different direction once they're informed and inspired about what's out there for them and what would benefit them if they just made a few little changes. So those were some things that, I added to my vision board after watching Stephanie Perry put together this amazing vision board that she did for herself. And what I love was her authenticity and her openness and her transparency about the things that worked for her, the things that went forward for her and the things that didn't. And it was important for me to share this as well here because there are times when you're going to think about things that you want for yourself and it's not going to work out. And that's okay because you're going to get back up and go forward again and push forward, right? So, what does 2024 look like for me? Right now, I've talked about what I've done this year, what I've learned this year, and the importance of perseverance and pushing forward. What does 2024 look like for me? You've got to come back. Next week, I will be having a vision board party myself. So join me on the 20th of December. I am going to be having my own vision board party for 2024. I'm super excited about it. Like, I really am. I'm still in the process of thinking about my word for 2024. I'm in an Instagram group where the young lady put out like, okay, so what's your word for 2024? And I'm just like, I don't know yet. I don't know. It was like the way growth hit me um, for 2023. It's like I have so many other words that are speaking to me. Just narrowing it down to one is going to be difficult, but I'm thinking about what really speaks to me, the direction I want my life to go in. And once I have that word, once we get that party started next week, hopefully all of you will be in the magic of the season, ready for the transformational aspects that happen during the new year. And we can talk about some amazing things that I have in store for 2024, some amazing things that you might have in store for 2024, and what that means for us collectively when we think about the things that we want to do, how we do it, and how we're going to get it done. Now, hopefully, I've shared, a lot about what you thought a little bit about me and what you thought about this channel. There are some questions I've gotten before about why I did my podcast. And ultimately, I did my podcast because as an educator, I wanted to share how I felt about the field of education. And honestly, like, it went, not that it went in a different direction, but it went in the direction of, instead of me saying, well, yeah, teaching, it's horrible and I've gone through so many things, it turned into an inspiring environment that's uplifting, and it's sharing stories, not only my story, but stories of women who have gone abroad and taught, and whether they've stayed in teaching or they've done other things, it just talks about the inspiration behind what we do when we decide to make changes. And so that was my reason of starting the podcast and really pushing forward with it, to the point where now we're going into season 3. I know I've gotten, I think, a question before about, did I get a question about like how often I travel? Like, I think I got a question before about how often I travel. I don't travel often. I'm not a digital nomad. I'm not here bopping around going to like a different country every month. I have a home base. I have a home. I do love to travel, but when I travel, it's usually around my schedule or my children's schedule. And we usually try to travel in December, February, May, June, summer break ish. But this year, no winter travel for us. My kids wanted to go to Canada, but I mean, we were just there in August. Like, I think they'll be okay. So no travel for us in December this time around. But going forward, I do have some things coming up in February and for summer, and I'm super excited about that. There might be some other things in between, which will be super awesome. But for the moment, it's just hang tight, relax, enjoy, maybe going to the city or going to DC or going to Boston, like something local, a couple hours from us. And that's that. If you have other questions, you can always leave them in the description. If you have other questions, you can always leave them in the comment section. I'm now tired. You can always leave them in the comment section. I will respond to you. I'm really good about responding to comments. If you have questions about the podcast, you can ask them. You have questions about me, you can ask them. If you have questions about travel, some of the travel guides I have on my blog, you can ask about that too, and I'll send you the link. If you have questions about winter travel or New York during winter time, I'm here for that as well. And that is it for me today. It has been fun popping in. I'm finally getting a hang of this YouTube thing. It's been like over a year, and I feel like I'm getting more comfortable. I'm feeling good. It's feeling right. And I feel like it's something that I'm gonna continue to push with and continue to pursue, because it has become like a really interesting outlet for me. I love the podcast. I love the YouTube. I love being able to do things on my blog. I feel like I've had like a metamorphosis. I started out with my blog. You don't see me, you don't talk to me. It's just I'm posting things. Then it's the podcast where you hear me, but you don't see me. You've got, my interviews and everything else. And then now I'm in YouTube land where you can see me, you can hear me, and I'm able to share my story and the stories of others. And it's been exciting and it's been awesome. And I look forward to 2024 and all the awesome things that will come with it. And it's been great. Until next time, see you. Bye.